Welcome to the show today, guys. President Donald Trump is going to get things done one way or another, and I promise you guys, this is super controversial in the just the use of our taxpayer dollars, guys. Let me know your thoughts, but I'm telling you, Trump is a genius. Elon Musk is a genius. They came up with this idea that instead of it costing taxpayers $17,000 to deport every single illegal alien individually, they said, let's just give them $1,000 to self-deport. Elon had this huge idea because they're like, we're saving money. We want to continue saving money, but it's going to cost us, think about it, hundreds of billions of dollars to deport what the Biden administration brought in. So how do we save money with that? Well, let's just give them $1,000 checks to the illegal immigrants who use the CBP1 app to get a commercial flight out of the United States to wherever they want to go in the entire world. We don't care. Just don't stay here. And we're giving them $1,000. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you okay with this? Are you in favor of this? Because I'll tell you this, we just got new data this morning, guys. This is astronomically huge when it comes to the transparency of where our tax dollars are going. This chart shows that the majority of welfare in the United States is now going to non-citizens, to immigrants, legal and illegal. Our taxpayer dollars are literally funding people that are not citizens of the United States. I got the receipts to show you in just a moment, guys. This is mind-blowing. This is just shows you what's been happening for God knows how long, that they've been using our taxpayer dollars to create voters, giving them benefits and welfare of every kind, whether it's healthcare, SNAP, housing assistance, internet, cell phones, guys, it's all there. I'm going to show you in just a moment. This is nuts. But the other good news, guys, our boy Tom Fitton with the Judicial Watch has just filed another lawsuit. They are suing so that Trump can move past the preemptive blanket pardons that were issued by Biden in his last days. They say it wasn't Biden, whoever was running the autopin of the White House. Specifically, they said that Trump can immediately court-martial Milley and proceed as appropriate in criminally investigating Fauci, as well as Shifty Schiff and anyone else that was on the Biden preemptive list. He said the blanket pardons issued by Biden are invalid and constitutional nullities and should be considered to have no legal force or effect. So they are helping to fight in the courts against these rogue judges to get things done, helping Trump out, guys. That's what I'm talking about, because Congress ain't doing a dang thing. And then, guys, you have it on the other side. Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, has just filed a lawsuit to sue the Trump administration again. She's using the Hunter Biden defense attorney to fight her mortgage fraud, as well as her voter fraud for what she's done. But now she said, well, since they're suing me, I'm going to sue them. Guys, this is getting nuts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So much crazy news today, but we are here for it. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our viewers, all of our subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. We're here to serve you guys. And if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family right here at TrueLife News. We want you to help grow this community. We're bringing the truth. We're bringing the receipts, guys. We're taking care of you. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, guys. Y'all are the best, helping us to grow our giving every single month. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, live on stream, we're donating to a local charity. And thank you so much to everybody that gives a super chat. Elaine Demeen, thank you so much for your continued support. Y'all show Elaine some love in the chat, guys. We are seeing lawsuits coming through. We're seeing them starting to give away $1,000 checks. Things are getting crazy right now. Let me know your thoughts. But what we are finding out is that the administration, the deep state, has been breaking the law, guys, for a long, long time. Check this out.
Have a balanced budget.
There is?
Yeah, there is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's not working, is it?
No, it's not.
So they're breaking the law?
They're breaking the law.
Okay.
Basically, since 2007, almost every year since 2007, they've lost money. So you might ask, like, what happened in 2007? So
Yeah.
there was
What happened in
additional
2007?
Yeah, there was additional regulation
Okay.
that went into place that essentially crippled them and put them down this like not good path where they essentially are stuck in the past as well as bleeding money left and right.
Okay.
So like it's great and we appreciate that the postal employees are willing to go to the hardest parts like in this country. But we think that we can modernize it and help them become profitable. Right now, last year they lost $9.5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious money.
So one of our initiatives
That is
is
serious
to
money.
root out fraud and waste.
Guys, if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
And to do that, we started looking at the payment computers. And as mentioned earlier, like there is no accounting of what payments actually go to in the payment computer. So like you look at a specific line item, like $20 million, and you're like, okay, well, what is this money going to? And for the majority of payment systems, it's like, well, we don't really know. And
Yeah, they're like, what?
Wait,
That
what?
would be the response.
Is this the most basic responses?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the most common response.
What do you say when people just say, I don't know?
well, it's a huge cause for concern because like the upstream thing, which is distributing the money, literally has no checks and no accountability to the actual American taxpayer. So it's a huge vector for fraud, waste, and abuse.
Do these people not
Guys, again, I just have to say when the amount of corruption is so real that when you dig in, you literally cannot even tell where the money is going. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is super important. People need to know this because they need to know that the American person, the average American, has been being ripped off by our government because we couldn't keep track of where payments were going. And I promise you, there's people getting a little bit of this under the table.
respect taxpayer money?
I mean, there's no incentive to if you work in the government. I think the incentives will always decide the outcomes.
Yes.
Do you guys feel like you're putting yourself at risk by doing this because you're stirring up so much hostility by these people ripping us off?
100%. Well, we don't need to speculate about that. You can see online in the protests that they make that very clear. I mean, I've been hanged in effigy many times. And there have been people that have actively advocated at these violent protests for my death, and have also advocated for the death of the people at DOGE.
I think the young folks of us have gotten email threats from reporters and the public alike. I think, speaking for myself, I dropped out of Harvard and came here to serve my country. And it's been unfortunate to see, lost friendships. Most of campus hates me now. But I think fundamentally, I hope people realize through conversations like this that reform is genuinely needed. And if there's one, I think this is important to say, if there's one group of people who really have a shot of success, it's the people here. They're up until 2 a.m., Monday through Sunday. DOGE does not recognize weekends. We're working all the time.
What inspired you to drop out of Harvard to do this?
There's a lot of reform that's needed. I think the value of this and the impact here is so much more vast than anything you could learn in a classroom doing computer science.
And you guys are sleeping here, I'm hearing. You guys are up all night. You have this meeting at 10 o'clock every Wednesday?
We'll probably go back to work right after this.
Yeah.
You're going back to work after this?
Yes.
Right.
It's almost 11 o'clock.
So that's early.
It's early? Can I go to bed? It's an incredible work ethic. You guys should be really, really proud of yourself. Do good people come up to you and say thank you for doing what you're doing?
Absolutely. There are people in the State Department that will stop you, or all of the agencies that we've been to, that'll stop you in the hallways or write emails and say, I was scared to write this, or I don't know if you're interested in this. But they usually have great ideas. And if they often have the best ideas because they've worked in the places and they've been stifled by the bureaucracy for so many years.
Guys, think about that. There's people that are fearful to report fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal government. Like, it just blows my mind how corrupt things are, guys. It blows my mind how the administration prior to this, guys, this is stuff that they won't show you on mainstream, guys, that the Atlas Society shows us that when it comes to any welfare, out of all the immigrants and the legal and illegal, 59% of the illegal immigrants that are here are on welfare. 52% of legal immigrants here are on welfare. That's over half, guys. When it comes to cash welfare, food welfare, Medicaid welfare, this is what blows my mind, is that most people don't know this. You think, man, I'm paying my taxes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I got Social Security that's coming. The reason that we don't have as much as we're supposed to give to American citizens is because of this, guys. This chart right here shows you the numbers speak for themselves. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much. John Propchi Jr., thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. And thank you so much, April Green, for gifting a True Life News. Guys, show April and John some love in the chat. Grow in the True Life News family. Guys, I'm telling you, when I show you this stuff, I show you it because I feel like, when are we ever going to see accountability? But what I'm going to show you next, it's finally coming. Lawsuits are coming, guys.
So one of the great things that, at least in my experience, that we listen to them and empower them.
So
Yes, in fact, I'd like to emphasize that because we'd like to just give a big thank you to all the government employees who are helping reduce the waste and fraud, because this is, we really couldn't do it without you. So
It's a group effort.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm not trying to sort of say all government employees are bad. That's absolutely not the case. It's just that, there actually just does need to be a serious effort to reduce the waste and fraud. And we're just making it happen. And a lot of people in the government are very glad to see it happen.
I think it's really important to recognize every single person around this table that's embedded within an agency is supporting that agency, whether they're working on systems or working through people. We are encountering droves of government employees who are missionaries, not mercenaries, who are actually here serving because they believe in what they're doing and they want to do things well. We are trying to empower them, and they feel empowered now to ask the question of why? Why aren't we doing this? What else can we be doing? How can we fix this? And I think agency by agency, it is filled with exceptional government employees, right? And when we give them the tools, when we give them the systems, and we leave behind systems to help them do their jobs better, that's the permanent change, right? And they're embracing that, not because it's new to them, it's because it's something they've always wanted to do. But for the first time ever, we're giving them the tools and the collaboration to be able to do that.
It's a very important message. Yeah. That message needs to get out a lot more. I'm so glad you said that.
We have exceptional people at all of our agencies. Exceptional. I mean, they do a thankless job and they work incredibly hard.
I love to hear how collaborative it is with these people in these agencies, and it's not all conflict. Sometimes in the media, you always hear about conflict, and you guys are considered these ruthless suits that come in and scare people. But
Conflict is the exception. There is conflict, but that is the exception. It's actually true of history in general. People study the wars a lot, but actually most of the time there wasn't war.
it's just not as exciting.
It's just not as exciting.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, for the TV guys, we like conflict, but in this case, we love the collaboration. So thank you guys. Thanks for...
Guys, let me tell you this. If the stuff that we're finding out right now, this is astronomically insane, guys. Look at this. We're finding out that Biden failed to DNA test 7 million illegals and retaliated against the whistleblowers who literally let out the news. So when it came to trying to make sure our country was safe, trying to make sure that what they say, remember whenever people were literally being dragged out of restaurants because what? They literally didn't have a mask on and they weren't vaccinated or whatever, but then we had at the same time millions of illegals coming across the border, not vaccinated, not tested whatsoever, blood tests, nothing. It just shows you guys it was all fake. This is where, again, if there should be lawsuits across the board to hold people accountable for what they did to average people who are just trying to live their lives When we are starting to find out why a lot of these people, they need to be arrested. Queen of Yeshua, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, for jealousy is the rage of man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Thank you so much. I'll show Queen of Yeshua some love in the chat. What I'm showing you now, guys, I'm telling you, the lawsuits are finally coming, and it's not coming from the DOJ. It's literally coming from outside money that is trying to come in to help Trump out. And I'm so thankful for this, because I'm telling you what, if we do not fight, Trump's not going to be able to get anything done. Guys, listen to this.
So, Fenton, here's a question. This Article 2 or the unitary executive, he's chief executive officer of the United States government. He can cut money. He can fire personnel. Number 2, he's commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He can attack, send bad guys out of the country. He can call for military action. Number 3, which is sometimes lost, he's chief magistrate and chief law enforcement officer of the U.S. government. Full stop. Am I correct?
You are. Presidents Washington's, President Adams, President Jefferson, President Madison, President Roosevelt I and President Roosevelt II, President Lincoln famously, all initiated, stopped, and directly managed federal prosecutions.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, rewind on that. They did what?
Initiated or stopped and directed federal prosecutions. In fact, reviewing the material on this over the weekend, Chief Justice Marshall yelled at the Jefferson administration for not moving quickly enough on the Aaron Burr prosecution. And he specifically was targeting Jefferson because Jefferson was running the prosecution. I mean, to the point of being involved, best I understand it, in depositions.
A treason trial, by the way.
Depositions and such. So practically speaking.
For treason, it was not a small case.
And the president was referred to as the chief executive magistrate. So there's no doubt under the Constitution, the powers of the president require the laws be faithfully executed.
And how is that done? Constitution and custom and tradition.
Well, yes, on top of that. Well, the custom and tradition flows from the obvious nature of his job as chief executive.
Yes.
And so what does that mean in the modern era? Well, in theory, it means President Trump could run the trial in any prosecution. He'd be in there playing prosecutor if he so chose.
Chris Hayes, I hope your producers picked that. No. Ari Melver, give me that again.
Let's go.
Give me that again for the Ari Melver show.
The president could conduct the prosecution, quite literally conduct the prosecution. Now, there may be some rules related to court rules about, lawyers being involved and such, but the point is he can run the prosecution, request an investigation, demand a report back. And this is what I think he should do. And we talked about this before. He should set up a special prosecutor, separate and apart from the FBI and the Justice Department. Use the Justice Department.
The reason is we got the right, but they're so overwhelmed with what they got.
Well, they're overwhelmed and conflicted. Institutionally, they're conflicted.
Yes.
The FBI guys aren't going to take out the FBI. Right. There aren't enough DOJ, good people in DOJ to do an investigation.
We don't control those buildings right now.
So
because you can't. It's going to take a while.
So the president can set this up.
Hold on. He appoints a special prosecutor, and that special prosecutor does not report to the attorney general. It reports to him.
That's right. An independent unit, an independent prosecutorial unit, investigative unit. He can have it staffed with individuals from other law enforcement agencies in the federal government, or contract with private experts and private entities to do investigations and any criminal investigation or ultimately prosecution. And he can sign off. He can be as detail oriented as he wants in terms of signing off on depositions, subpoenas, leads, what is pursued, what isn't.
He can be quite involved.
And he can, in the end, bless the prosecution one way or the other. Now, he may want to take the Attorney General's advice as to the validity, the strength, the weakness of a prosecution, but in the end, he makes the decision. And even short of that, he can call Pam Bondi over here today to his Oval Office and say, tell me what's going on. What prosecutions are you considering? Have you looked at this? Why aren't you looking at this? I want you to look at this, and I want you to get back to me.
Hang on. Ever since Watergate, That's been verboten, right? That was the whole purpose of Watergate, is to hive off the Justice Department so it would not have any association with the executive branch, and particularly the office of the president.
Well, no one's suggesting a corrupt abuse of office here. We're suggesting the vigorous exercise of his constitutional responsibilities, duties, and powers to ensure that the rule of law is vindicated. And does it mean targeting someone specifically just because you don't like them? You know, you still have the rule of law. You still have judges. You still have the constitutional protections.
All the evidentiary, due process.
And defendants get all the rights, and witnesses or targets. No one's suggesting all that be thrown out. What I'm suggesting is that the Justice Department and the FBI are hopelessly conflicted.
Right there, guys.
Really, I don't even trust they're competent enough to get it done. Despite
you hear that, guys? Hopelessly conflicted. They literally are not going to prosecute themselves. I want to show you this because this is literally what's happening right now. We have too much conflicts. The people that are corrupt are not going to prosecute the people that are corrupt, guys. That's the problem we have, and that's why Judicial Watch is out there to start suing all these individual branches. You say, so he's suing the Trump administration? No, he's suing the DOJ. He's suing the FBI, the CIA. Listen to this. So Senator Whitehouse has been one of the loudest critics of DOGE and Elon. Well, guess what? New evidence has come out that he got caught voting on bills that ended up funneling millions to his wife's consulting firm. She was paid at least $2.7 million of taxpayer money. Guys, this stuff right here, when we show you this stuff, we want to make sure that we bring the receipts. But this right here is why there's so much conflicts, is because people are getting paid. These people are getting money under the table, they're getting taken care of, so why would they ever prosecute themselves? And that's what Tom Fitton is saying. Thank you so much, Larry Pickett, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, April made me donate. I love it. I love it. Patty Razor, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, show Patty and Larry, and go ahead and show April some love in the chat. This right here, and what Tom Fitton is about to go into more, guys, is why it's like it's too corrupt in the inside that even with Pam Bondi. Oh, I got to show you this, guys. I got to show you this because remember what Pam Bondi said. Oh, the Epstein files, they're on my desk. Oh, I'm reviewing them right now. So now we got from the leading report that the White House has said it has no specific timeline for release of the remaining Epstein files. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Guys, this is why what you're about to hear next is so important. There's too much corruption in the deep state it's like it can't even fix itself. Listen to this.
The new leadership, and it's no smear on the leadership. We just know they're crackpots.
That institutionally, these things are still riven with deep staters.
That's right.
Deep state.
And you know, in terms of the appearance of justice, whether or not they are otherwise, you know, they may have a whole bunch of perfect staff, but the American people have lost confidence in both agencies. And, you know, I was talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene on the way out. You know, she made the point, her constituents are upset about this. And, you know, our friends in the administration want to blame me or Marjorie or others for highlighting these issues and getting people riled up. I was like, are you kidding me? People instinctively know what's going on. They don't need Tom Fitton or MTG or Steve Bannon to tell them what to think. Donald Trump doesn't need any of us to tell him what to think. So this is a grassroots concern about the lack of justice and accountability, and frankly, our friends in the DOJ and FBI are giving us the equivalent of Q drops every week. Oh, don't trust us. There's a plan. We're going to roll them all up. There's a plan. There's no plan. There may be a prosecution or two. There've been significant firings, which are necessary but woefully insufficient. And the president should tell Cash, treat FBI like U.S. And in the meantime,
guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, what I love is there's people out there just like this who are on the inside with Bannon who are going to help get things done.
Treat FBI like USAID.
You're talking
shatter
about,
and scatter.
Shatter. You believe, because it's May of 2025, we're burning daylight. I tell people, if the deep state is not shattered on Trump's watch, and destroyed,
it won't ever be.
It's going to come back. It's going to come back bigger than ever. It's got to be done. It's got to be done now.
I mean, I was talking about online the other day. You went to jail for contempt of Congress.
Right here.
Pete Navarro went to jail for contempt of Congress. Garland wasn't prosecuted by the Justice Department. Why? You know, he hid the video. He hid the audio of the Biden interview because they covered up his mental incapacities by keeping that audio quiet. He refused and went into contempt of Congress rather than turn it over. Why isn't the Bondi Justice Department prosecuting him?
Right there.
I mean, it's right there. There's a package right there from the prior administration. They can reevaluate and review and decide whether to prosecute or not. And as I was saying at the beginning of the show, it's now time, I would suggest respectfully to the president, that if he wants this done, he should just do it. Order it, get it done.
Because they're going to, even if the two departments could do it, which clearly they're overwhelmed, the media is going to, and the Democrats are going to make the same firestorm. So just go ahead and set it up yourself. It's within the Constitution. It's within your constitutional rights. Let's get on with it.
No, and there are all sufficient checks in place. It's not like he's going. We're not going to have judges pretending to be the president. We're not going to have the equivalent of that, which we have now. We have now.
Yep.
That's the tyranny the founders were worried about. Here, the president is acting as magistrate and prosecutor. And when you look at President, and people should go and look this up, look at President Washington's handling of the Whiskey Rebellion. I mean, you didn't want to be on the wrong end of George Washington
First
on that.
off, people don't know that Hamilton and Washington actually came back and they formed a standing army, made Hamilton a major general. And Washington was going to come back and do going to be commander-in-chief again.
He talked about the vigorous prosecution. Adams did, and Jefferson, as I said, ran
the Aliens Amnesty Act that we're using came from that time, the 1798.
President Jackson Roosevelt used Teddy, conducted antitrust prosecutions or ran them. President Reagan shut down a prosecution over national security concerns. So this is, and I remember talking to a senior person in the prior White House, the Trump White House, someone who's not seen as a friend of the president anymore, but a very former senior official. And he said to me, Tom, after all this is done, we need to bring the Justice Department back into our government. And what an insight that was. And it's true, and it's still true. And let's stop giving the left control of the Justice Department. And my working narrative is, our working narrative should be, we need to reassert political control of the administrative state.
Guys, and that is so true what he just said. How many times have you seen it since Trump has been president that the Republican or GOP or conservative judiciaries are fighting in favor of Trump? Have you seen it? No. It's all the opposition. The left are willing to do whatever it takes to win and beat Trump, even bringing false TROs and trying to stop his agenda at whatever cost. And what bothers me is that we don't see enough of the fight on the right. We don't see enough of this fight on the conservative side. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because if we do not fight, we are going to lose. They are willing to do whatever it takes. And I'm not saying we break the law, but I love that Tom Fitton is going out and suing them. We need more people on the right. They got enough money. They got enough connections with these lawyers to sue and get things done. Because if not, Trump's not his agenda. I promise you, the budget reconciliation bill has already been pushed off 2 months, has already been postponed 2 months. How much you want to bet if they keep coming with the judges, it's going to be postponed another 2 months. Instead of July 4th, it's going to be Labor Day. And then, not Labor Day, it's going to be Veterans Day. Like, this is what happens in Congress because we don't have the right people in place to do what it needs to do to get done. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Thank you so much, April Green, for gifting another True Life News membership. And Larry Pickett, who said, darn, April made me do it again. Let's go. Show April. JH said, I made JH donate. Haha, keep it coming, True Life News. April, J.H. Larry Pickett, and Fred Samuel with the super chat. Let's go. Said, hey, someone please look at the Leadership Institute. It's a conservative group on college campuses teaching our youth and our conservative values and real leadership. They could use our support. I've got it, man. I'm going to look into it. Y'all show them some love in the chat.
As the left likes to say,
over the administration state,
political control of the administration state, or as the left likes to call it, democracy.
Yes. What is your top? You've sued now the administration. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this. Fenton, who's worked for years in this thing, and was we called the People's Justice Department during Obama. That if it hadn't been for you, I don't know where this country would have been. You were the one group that was in Obama's Freedom of Information request, suing Holder, the whole thing, forcing Holder almost into a contempt charge over the gun running situation. Mm-hmm. It was all you. How many times have you actually sued the current Trump administration?
Oh, it's got to be 10 or 12 times.
Whoa.
How could that possibly, I mean, this is what's so mind-boggling. When Tom Fenton's suing you, what are we doing? Why?
Well, in defense of the Trump administration, you know, fish swim, judicial watch sues. So we don't get a response to our FOIA. We don't wait around for some politicos to say, hey, you know, here are the documents.
But shouldn't they be instantaneously say, hey, the people want this information released? Because President Trump has said, hey, I want all, you know, declassify the stuff, get all this stuff out here.
Yeah, I mean, FOIA is a great way to get information out. And I think they should focus on that. And I would see the lawsuits and FOIAs as opportunities for disclosure rather than legal headaches.
What is your punch list for the special prosecutor? Since they gave pardons to Fauci, they gave pardons to
those pardons aren't valid. Special prosecutors should proceed as if those pardons aren't valid. They don't name.
We're making some news.
They don't.
Give me that again. You're saying the pardons are a total joke, and the first
step they're null and void. Remember they taught us about the empty set when we were learning
the
that?
null set.
Yeah,
right?
this is the pardons are the empty set. There are no crimes in them. What is it? How is it you even manage that? And now, of course, there's questions about how they were even, granted, which is another matter.
Auto pen and all this,
but you can't have a pardon for nothing. And, you know, under that theory...
So the blanket preemptive pardons in Tom Fenton, the special prosecutor, step one, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? We're going after the J6. We're going to get the Fauci.
You proceed as if they're not there. That doesn't mean you target someone who otherwise wouldn't have been... No, but you investigate the crimes associated with these individuals, bring them in, question them, and in theory, frankly, you can, even if they are valid, you can prosecute them and convict them, and the pardon kicks in at sentencing.
Guys, let me tell you this. If we aren't seeing the craziest things, like, I promise you, I would never have imagined that I'd be telling you that the Trump administration is getting sued so that we can see what the heck is actually going on. But just right here, guys, this came out, guys, this morning as well. FBI warns that Venezuela training TDA terrorists to assassinate Americans. That's where we're at right now, guys. Like, this is how bad it is. And they talk, and the Democrats want to talk about, oh, people, we want to bring these people back that have been deported. And no, we're not going to bring criminals back that have a rap sheet, that have committed crimes. We don't want those people in our country. We want good, positive, working, hardworking people in our country that came in the right way. But guys, look at this news. Is this not nuts that the FBI is warning that Venezuela has trained TDA terrorists to take out Americans? Like, this is the transparency that we need. And that's why what you're about to see next is super important. That's why Trump said, you know what? Let's give these people $1,000. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. $1,000 that if they self-deport, we will give them $1,000. Take any flight you want, anywhere in the world, we don't care. But when you get there, we'll give you $1,000. I want to say thank you so much, April Green, for gifting another 5 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. If you got a free membership from April, show her some love in the chat, guys. Let's go. Growing the TrueLife News family. Listen to this, guys, because there's a lot of details that you have to hear. The context is super important of why Trump is doing this.
In paying for the flights of illegal aliens who choose to self-deport from the United States. Those self-deportations will be facilitated through the administration's CBP Home app. DHS formally announced the move earlier today, and they say it will end up saving American taxpayers big time in the long run. Bill Malushin has been covering the story. He's on it. He broke it. He's in Los Angeles. Bill, you are collecting more information.
Yeah, and Harris, this is a pretty big deal. DHS tells us not only are they going to start paying for the commercial flights of illegal aliens who want to self-deport, on top of that, they're also going to pay them an additional $1,000 stipend once they're confirmed to have left the United States. Now, DHS says doing this is going to be a whole lot cheaper for American taxpayers. They tell Fox that right now it costs, on average, about $17,000 to arrest, detain, and deport someone. They say by doing this with the self-deportations and the stipend, it's only going to cost about $4,500.
So again, guys, it's so hard to comprehend this, guys. How in the world Biden and the Biden administration allowed this invasion of illegals into our country? And you know what they're wanting to say? Just let them stay here. Just let them be here. Give them citizenship. And now that we're trying to do right and clean up America and make sure that everybody's following the rules, to detain and for the government to deport them $17,000 in a person. Now they're trying to save some money. Came up with this genius idea. Let's let them self-deport. Give you $1,000 when you get to wherever you're at. This is just so asinine that our country, by a president of the United States, allowed this to happen to our country. Our taxpayer dollars are insanely being used to give to non-citizens, non-taxpayers, people that are not Americans. That's what our taxpayer dollars are going through. Hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Dollars per alien. That's about 70% cheaper. Now, aliens are going to have to register to self-deport on the new CBP Home app if they want to access that DHS financial assistance. They'll also have to announce their intent to leave the country. DHS tells us that any aliens who sign up and register to self-deport will immediately be deprioritized as a target for ICE arrest.
We're giving you our word that we will give you this money and that you can leave today. It's the safest way. You will not be arrested. You will not be detained, and we will give you that free flight.
And ICE says they've deported nearly 66,000 illegal aliens during the first 100 days of the administration. They've also arrested 66,000 more, 3/4 of which have criminal convictions or charges. The acting director of ICE says they will continue to use the FBI, DEA, and other federal agencies to help out with arrests.
This is a whole of government approach that President Trump and the administration is giving us to go after these foreign actors that are in our country illegally committing crimes and terrorist acts.
And guys, when it comes to paying for those self-deportation flights, DHS says not only is it cheaper, it's also importantly going to preserve ICE resources. Every migrant that decides to get on a plane on their own and leave the country, that's one person less that ICE officers will have to go out, find, and arrest. They've got limited resources, only about 5,500 officers nationwide. This will help them out a lot in that regard.
Bill, great job today. I can't say it enough. I do it every show. Good to see you.
Guys, again, like that's the state that we're at. They're going to be offering this $1,000 stipend so that they can, hey, we'll pay for you to leave. We'll pay for you to get out of the country. But I want to show you this, guys. Never forget, this is what the Biden administration did. They allowed so many illegals. When Texas put up the razor wire, what did the Biden administration go do? They went and got a forklift, raised it up so people can keep coming in, keep coming in, keep coming in. Is this not mind-blowing, guys, that this actually happened in a country that's the United States of America? We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, but this was allowed by a president of the United States. To me, this is treason. To me, this is like, boy, your butt needs to be in jail for this, that they allowed this to happen. This makes no sense. We're supposed to have secure borders. And remember, guys, look at this. It's heartbreaking because it's not just adults, it's families. And these families were put through these harsh conditions because they were promised whatever here in the United States, but they were false promises. And guys, not only that, but we showed you the Biden failed to DNA test 7 million illegals and retaliated against the people that were actually trying to say, hey, we kind of really need to know if these people got diseases or if these people are, terrorists or whatnot. This is the kind of news that, guys, I hope you get value out of this, because this is what breaks my heart, that when you try to do right and you get just like put to the corner, you get fought tooth and nail, just everything's against you, but yet whenever they did it, they were literally breaking the law. Nothing ever happened. I didn't see no dang conservative justices suing the Biden administration to secure our borders. Not a one. I don't remember any of that. Do you? Let me know in the comments. Matt Holland, welcome to the family. Let's go. Y'all show Matt some love in the chat. But that's, again, guys, the people that are actually making the biggest difference right now is the DOGE cuts, the cutting the federal spending, giving back us our hard-earned money, guys. That's what I care about. Listen to this.
And Tony, he's an Unleash Prosperity Senior Fellow and the Heritage Foundation Public Finance Economist. So with the impending departure of Elon Musk, do you think that's going to cripple in any way the work of DOGE? He says it needs to continue.
Well, and he's absolutely right. It definitely needs to continue. There's a reason why the government budget is as many trillions of dollars as it is. It is much too large because it has much too much abuse, corruption, fraud, waste, etc. And DOGE is proving that with literally being only weeks on the job and having uncovered hundreds of billions of dollars, again, of waste in all those different categories. And it really is astonishing to me when I hear mostly Democrats, but sometimes Republicans too, talk about DOGE cutting vital government spending, whatever that is, but no one can actually point to any specific examples. They'll throw around phrases, they'll throw around very broad categories like Medicare, but they can't actually point, again, to any specific examples. Now, to your question, John, I think it's absolutely vital that the work continues, whether Mr. Musk is at the helm or not. And to that end, I think he has put together a phenomenal team of a very, very motivated young guys who are very excited about all the work that they're doing and are very committed to it, regardless of any kind of personal cost that those individuals are seeing.
Yeah, you talked about some of the so-called vital programs that DOGE is accused of cutting, and we have a scroll that we can put on the screen of some of the programs that DOGE has found and apparently is going to be able to cut, starting with $20 million to a U.S. aid program that's produced Sesame Street in Iraq, that kind of thing. So he's going back apparently to the private sector, back to Tesla. Obviously, his company has taken a big hit based on what he's done, in the public service. Give us your thoughts on that. Just, what's happened to Tesla vehicles, Tesla showrooms, Tesla stock.
Well, John, unfortunately, much of this has to do with actions by radical leftists who essentially, instead of having a public debate, have chosen to just use fear and intimidation tactics and engage in nothing less than domestic terrorism. And I don't say that lightly, but I'm sorry, that's what it is. When you are committing acts of violence to try to hurt people financially or even hurt them physically, all for the end of trying to get your political view across, of using this violence as a cudgel to beat everyone else into submission until they agree with you, I'm sorry, that's domestic terrorism. Yeah. Now, in terms of why has Tesla stock been down, let's not forget that stocks generally, especially the Mag 7, have really gotten beat up with the whole tariff fight that's been going on. Now, a lot of the market has recovered those losses. So I think there's more than one thing at play here. It's not simply the fact that Elon is not devoting all of his time exclusively to Tesla. It is things like the domestic terrorism that's going on. It is the broader stock market volatility. So I am not by any means counting Tesla down and out here.
He talked about some of the gravy train programs that DOGE has found, programs that would like to continue running. He spoke about it on My View with Laura Trump. Listen.
The people that are receiving the billions of dollars of waste and fraud want to keep receiving it. The people doing the bad things want to keep getting the money. Really, some very basic things need to happen. We need to have, obviously, a secure border. We need to have safe cities. We need to have sensible spending. Politics is a blood sport. So they're going to come up with whatever attacks they can to destroy the public perception of someone.
Wow. It was Ronald Reagan who said something, paraphrasing here, something like, if you want proof of eternal life, just look at a federal program. It's pretty hard to kill a lot of these programs, isn't it, EJ?
It's exactly right, John. And what happens is so often these programs will outlive their usefulness because, as you said, you just can't get rid of them. At least there's no efficient way to do so. I mean, my goodness, speaking of efficient.
Did you hear that, guys? Golly. It's hard once they're put in place. It's hard to get rid of them. That's why the federal government is so dang inefficient. But guys, this is where, again, when people see this stuff, when people say enough is enough, they get fed up. They want the truth. They want to keep more of their hard-earned tax dollars. Imagine, guys, if in the past 20 years, if we actually didn't spend like the government has been spending, we wouldn't be $37 trillion in debt. Our taxes would be a lot lower. Remember, you get taxed when you make money on your W-2s. You get taxed whenever you buy stuff at the store. You get taxed whenever you sell a house or you sell a car. You get taxed on your property. You get taxed on Social Security. Everything we do is taxed because the Congress in Washington, D.C. is corrupt. That's why at every single point in your life, you are paying taxes. It's so ridiculous, and that's why what you're about to hear next, guys, is so important. If we do not clean up the deep state, we will not. I don't think we ever can, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support, guys. Y'all are the best.
Let's see, look at what DOGE uncovered in terms of how we retire government employees, where we have to carry physical paper records down a mine shaft in Pennsylvania to where these things are housed. I mean, this is absolutely ludicrous, but these are the very commonplace things that DOGE is uncovering literally every single day. And as we bring more efficiency to government, we're cutting costs. Virtually all of the reduction in government spending, government purchases, I should say, from the first quarter GDP report that we got last week, John, nearly all of those reductions in government spending are accounted for through the cuts made in DOGE. So this is clearly having an impact, and it's having it already. And again, these guys are only weeks on the job.
But, especially on the Democrat side of the aisle, Elon Musk and his team are portrayed as this heartless bogeyman that's, killing programs.
But again, going back to what we said earlier, John, I would love to hear from literally anyone on the left a single specific thing that DOGE has cut, which we don't actually want them to cut. And conversely, DOGE has come up with a very long list, some of which you were just scrolling on the screen earlier, things that have been cut that should have been cut because we never should have been wasting taxpayer money on these things in the first place. When DOGE finds that there are all of these people over 125 years old receiving Social Security benefits, clear fraud, and the Democrats are up in arms about it, I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, that was
everything that you need to know, guys. And that's where, again, too, Trump knows what he is doing. Check this out. India offers 0 tariffs on pharmaceuticals, steel, and auto parts from the U.S. Is that not one of the biggest wins? Guys, remember, biggest countries in the world: United States, India, you've got Russia, which I know Russia, you've got Beijing, South Korea, all these big countries. But for now, for us to have 0 tariffs with India on pharmaceutical, steel, and auto parts, you're talking about so much savings, so much more economic wins when it comes to people selling into India. And guess what? Us reciprocating those types of tariff numbers. Trump knows what he is doing, guys. Show your love in the chat. This is what I love, that we're going to get so many wins out of this that the Democrats literally said it wasn't even possible. But listen to this, guys, because it's getting even deeper.
Thank you so much for coming.
Good to be here, Steve.
And getting here early because it's all kicking off today in the House. First off, Fox is making a huge deal of this. Everybody's making a huge deal of this. And now you see a wedge coming between the base and President Trump. Nothing can be further from the truth.
That's a lie.
But you were a truth teller of exactly what has been some of the focus and what you think needs to be the focus. Well, you put this tweet out, was it Friday or Saturday?
I believe it was Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, because I saw it right after the show. We put it up on...
No, Friday morning. It was Friday morning, yep.
So walk us through it.
Well, basically, it's a complete lie.
Denver, if you can put it up too, I want to put up her actual tweet.
Right. It's a lie. There is no wedge between the base and President Trump. The wedge is between Congress and the establishment Republicans that are undermining the president's agenda.
Rhinos.
And also anyone that gets in the president's ear and is lying to him about what he should be doing. Here's the real issue. This country rose up in a historic way, something that we haven't seen in our lifetime, Steve, and delivered a mandate. And that mandate was to the Republican Party. The mandate was President Trump's agenda. The American people said, no, we're done with the old Republican Party ways. We are rejecting the Democrat Party's policies. We are embracing Make America Great Again, MAGA, America First, MAHA, no more foreign wars. This whole populist movement supporting America and American workers and American companies and American interests and solving American problems. That's what November 2024 was about. And Washington, as usual, is tone deaf and has not heard the message. What we saw is all these Republicans that rejected Trump, fought Trump in his first administration. Networks, even like Fox News, that did not support the president and didn't support him in 2021 and 2022, part of 2023, and didn't support him until they realized they had to support him.
Late on the evening of the 5th of November, 2024, right? About 10 o'clock at night when Pennsylvania and Michigan fell.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they got on board.
Exactly.
But talk to people about how this place works. Because you've had the most interesting journey. You came in as a MAGA Trump fire breather immediately. And then you were banned by the Republican Party, being even on committees. So you went out and became a media figure and taking the MAGA message to the people. You've been President Trump's closest supporter. Now we're at the end of the first 100 days, and you're seeing some basic building blocks that the Republican Party won't get in back of him on, or they have their own kind of globalists, particularly in national security, of what they want to accomplish. How can these guys up there think they exist without Trump and his base?
Well, here's the issue. Never forget I got here on my own with the people. I didn't get elected with the president's endorsement. I fought through a primary and a runoff, and I won. And I won a general election. President Trump endorsed me then, but I already won the general election anyways. I would have won even without it. I'm here because I genuinely believe, and I'm fighting for what I believe in. And what I believe in is what most Americans believe in.
Yes.
So when I am making a call to action, and it's always early, I'm an early indicator, but when I'm making a call to action, people better pay attention. And here's the issue, Steve, is they think they can manipulate the president, but you can't manipulate the base. You can't manipulate the base. And continuing to pursue the war in Ukraine, it's really a proxy war against Russia. The CIA has been running it the entire time, and it started years ago.
You've asked and demanded, and I thought a condition precedent of these funding things where you demanded a simple audit. Have you seen
audit?
Have you seen the audit? This is 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Have you seen the audit?
No, I haven't.
And I thought they promised in the House. You kind of filibustered for a while and said, we're not going to approve this. You had a bunch of people voting with you, Gates in that crowd.
Yeah.
And you guys, they committed to do a basic audit. And now President Trump is saying $350 billion. Other people are saying $250. There's a big spread, but nobody knows where the money went.
Because nobody knows. And the Pentagon has failed its audit every single year over and over. The money's been stolen. This is pure money laundering. Our weapons have been stolen and sold to our enemies. Zelensky canceled elections in Ukraine. They silenced people's First Amendment.
Man, guys, I'm serious. I could see MTG running for speaker. I think there's too many rhinos in the House for her to actually get the seat, but I would love to see her because I feel like she is the essence of a true patriot. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much, PSI Tag, for the super chat. Let's go. So whatever it takes to get them out, but no more money. I love it. Y'all show PSI Tag some love in the chat.
Right. You know what else they did? They silenced Christians' rights. This has been, and this is not democracy in Ukraine. It's everything the opposite of democracy. And I'm outraged to find out today and read the details of the agreement signed with Ukraine that ensures listen to this, ensures the security, prosperity, and reconstruction of Ukraine. And the American people are tied in there's no end date to this. The American people are not responsible for what happened in Ukraine. The American people did not bomb Ukraine. The American people did not murder Ukrainians. The American people should not be on the hook for their security, prosperity, and reconstruction.
100%.
Let's talk about reconstruction. How about California? How about where the California fires have destroyed so many
How about
homes?
Georgia and North Carolina on the hurricane?
100%. How about reconstructing Americans' homes? What about Lahaina? We can go down the list. We can talk about every hurricane. We can talk about every natural disaster in America. How about let's talk about reconstructing American lives from the drug pandemic that has been forced on this nation by the Mexican cartels. How about that one? And when I look on social media and I see threats to, we're going to bomb Iran, but then we're going to ask permission from the Mexican president if we can go in and take out the cartels that are murdering Americans every single day. I'm sorry, this is not what resonates with the American people. They scream hypocrisy.
Boom. Guys, that is what I'm talking about. That is us hearing the exact truth of what is actually going on, because I'm telling you guys, something's happening. Remember, we heard from Pam Bondi herself. The files are on my desk. We're going to get them out in the next few days. We're going to give transparency to the American people. And then all of a sudden, White House has said it has no specific timeline for the release of the remaining Epstein files. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Are you serious? We voted for transparency. Where the heck is our transparency at, guys? I want to see it. I know you want to see it. Right now, I got to show you guys, because to me, it's like, I want to make sure that we catch every single word that comes from this guy, and then we hold him accountable. We have to know what the heck is going on, because I'm telling you, they've already postponed the reconciliation bill 2 months. I feel like it's going to be postponed till Labor Day, the closer we get to July 4th. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
Mike Johnson, welcome, Mr. Speaker. I don't know how many miracles it takes to be canonized, but I can count 3 legislative miracles that you have already pulled off this year. Do you have any more up your sleeve?
Those are the results of lots of patience and prayer, my friend. Great to be with you. We will get this job done, Trey. The stakes are too high. The possibility of failure is one that no one wants to face. So I think at the end of the day, we'll get everybody together. We had a great meeting at the White House on Thursday, as the president indicated. We're working very carefully, Trey, to keep the coordination very close with the White House, with our Senate Republican colleagues, and with the House itself. I think that's going to be the magic that gets us through this.
All right, Speaker. First, you have to gain consensus within your conference. You got Medicaid, you have SALT. Are there other issues that aren't being talked about that you also have to work through, or are those the 2 main issues?
Well, those are big parts of it, and of course the various components of the tax piece of this. And people say, why are you doing this all in one big, beautiful bill? Well, you know, to remind everyone, we're using the reconciliation process because the Democrats are in no mood to do anything for the country. You know, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate, and Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats in the House, they have no interest whatsoever in solving problems. So we have to do it ourselves, and you have to use the budget reconciliation process to do it. It avoids the 60-vote threshold in the Senate. So that's why all these various components of the bill are put together, complex pieces of the bill. But we're going to solve this equation, Trey. We have to. Now, here's the progress report. Good news. Over the last week, 7 of our 11 committees of jurisdiction got their pieces of that big, beautiful bill done. And so we have...
Did you hear that, guys? Why do you think they never get anything done? Because he said there's 11 committees within Congress. 11. Now, I understand you got to have groups and you got to have leaders and things like that. But imagine if one of those committees doesn't want to play ball. Imagine if they are just being resistant, holds everybody up. And Mike Johnson can't do anything about it. This to me is like, man, how is Congress so inefficient?
4 committees yet to go, and then we push it through back through the budget committee to merge it all together and send it to the Senate. I put it on a very aggressive timetable because, Trey, we got to get this done for the people as soon as possible. It will send stability out there to the markets, the bond market, the stock market. It will allow job creators and innovators and entrepreneurs to know that their tax rates are stabilized and permanent going forward so they can plan accordingly. And it will be like jet fuel to the economy. So, and by the way, will prevent the largest tax increase in U.S. history, which is what would happen by default at the end of this year. Failure is not an option here. We'll get it done.
All right, Speaker, let's assume arguendo that you can keep all the frogs in the wheelbarrow on the House side. You still have to work with the Senate. Where does that stand? Negotiations between the House and the Senate.
We've had an ongoing process, and that's really key to this. You know, we meet, they call it the Big Six. We meet every week, and that's Leader Thune in the Senate and I, and our top lieutenants on the committees of jurisdiction, Senator Crapo in the Senate, Jason Smith of Ways and Means in the House, and the Treasury Secretary Besson is there, who's excellent. Kevin Hassett at NEC is there. So all the principal players on the key components of the tax piece of this and the things related to it, constant communication. Leader Thune and I meet and talk regularly, multiple times a week, because we understand this is a one-team effort. And I know that's an innovation, Trey. I mean, in Washington, the House and the Senate don't typically work together in that fashion, as you well know. But this is a new age and a new time. Our margins are small in both chambers, and we have no luxury of complacency about that. We got to work together as a team. And so far, so good. I'm really encouraged by that.
It'd be hard to find 2 nicer people in politics than you or John Thune. I think that...
Problem. Nice. Nice doesn't get you... let me ask you this. Is Donald Trump nice? He's nice when he needs to be. But dang, he will bust your butt in a heartbeat if he needs to as well. I don't see that out of Mike Johnson. I don't see that out of Thune. I see them as guys that just try to play along to get along.
That also helps. But for those of us who won't ever be the Speaker of the House, tell us how you handle it when one group comes to you demanding something that is diametrically different from what another group demands. I mean, I know you're a nice guy and people like you personally, but how do you reconcile people who have like diametrically opposing positions on something?
Well, look, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time. We do a lot of listening. I mean, half my day I spend as a mental health counselor, as you know. It's not just Speaker of the House. It's multifaceted. But I love all these people, Trey. I love my colleagues. I know what makes them tick. I know how they think. We all have the same philosophy. It's just people have different tactics and different nuances about how to get to that end goal. So the job of the Speaker in this modern era is to bring them all together and let everybody understand at the end of the day, none of us are going to get 100% of what we want individually. It's a consensus-building process, and so we spend a lot of time building consensus. I mean, hours and hours and hours in listening sessions, with whiteboard sessions, brainstorming, because this is a member-driven institution, as it's supposed to be. And I've designed this, and what I'm trying to do, my leadership style is servant leadership, and I'm trying to let the members themselves guide the process. I'm directing it, you know, but it's not a top-down. It's bottom-up, and I think that's the secret to this at the end of the day. Everybody has a say, and we'll find that equilibrium point, the perfect point to make it happen.
You have a historically small margin. I have used the word miracles, but I cannot let you go without recognizing another miracle. Kelly married you a number of years ago. You just celebrated an anniversary. That might be the biggest miracle of all that you pulled off.
Guys, let me tell you this. So right now, I've got to show you this. This is literally one of the dumbest things that I think that the CNN could have ever done. So they thought it would be a good idea to go and interview a criminal cartel person and then ask them how they felt about Donald Trump labeling them as a terrorist group. And everybody's saying, what are they doing? Like, this is the actual interview. I'm not going to show it, guys, because I'm going to show you like the thing, but You can't make this stuff up of how far CNN and then people are willing to go. Look at this. This is CNN. Look, she's talking. She asked him, how do you feel about being labeled a terrorist? This is a cartel drug member. He said, it's ugly. She said, what do you think about President Trump? He said, I got respect. He's doing what he said he'd do. He said, but our consumers are here in the United States. That's why we're here. If there weren't no consumers, we wouldn't be here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this to me blows my mind that we actually have, I want to show you this, that CNN is getting roasted so bad right now for just even doing this interview in the first place. CNN roasted. Oh my goodness. Get out of here. Get out of here. Guys, the ads. Sorry. CNN roasted for interviewing Sonola cartel gangster, asking how he felt about the Trump labeling him as a terrorist. And you can tell, guys, in the interview, this person trying to be empathetic with him. This is literally a cartel member who traffics drugs in the United States. And they're being empathetic, guys. Like, what the heck is even going on? I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers, guys. Thank you so much for your support. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family, guys. We want you here. Grow in this community. We want to serve you guys with the top news every single day. We got so much breaking news that's going on, so much bombshell news. We want to be there for you. I want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, guys. Y'all are the best, and everybody who has given a super chat donation, I got to give some love, guys, to Kathy Blankenship, John Profchi Jr., April Green, Queen of Yeshua, Larry Pickett, Patty Razor, J.H., Fred Samuel, Matt Holland, PSI Tag, Queen of Yeshua. Show them some love in the chat, guys. What an amazing show. Guys, thank you for liking these videos, for sharing these videos. It means the world to us, guys. We just want to get the truth out there. And also, thank you to everybody that donates, guys. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we give to local charities live on stream, guys. And we have thus far given over $33,000 live on stream with your support. And we want to keep it going, guys. Fred Samuel, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said fake interview propaganda, 100%. It's just crazy, guys. But I love y'all. Appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.